New information and new ways of thinking can answer a lot of questions, but they can also create more questions. So after more than 40 years of practice, I'm familiar with the questions that are often asked as people take on this new mindset shift. Some of the questions are the same that I'm getting from you guys on the podcast. So, in this final episode of the C Word podcast, as it pertains to the book, I thought I would answer some of your questions. Thought it'd be helpful as we move forward. This is episode 18. I call it You Asked For It. Let's get some answers. Welcome to the C Word podcast. I'm Semaj, and I greet you in the love and the light of the infinite creator. Don't let the name fool you. The C, as you will find, is all about you. What we desire to do here is create a conversation around my book, The C Word, and some of the principles behind it, to lead you, the seeker, on a journey. A journey of freedom. Freedom from limiting thoughts, borrowed beliefs, and false perceptions. A journey of self-truth. If you're already on a path, then it's to help bring clarity on the journey. I've walked the path. I can help you identify the walls you've built and the ruts that you're in, and give you some tools to create a new life. I'm a hands-on healer of energy and light, teacher of my own integrative flow technique. I'm a student of the universal law of one, and a certified life coach, helping you to get clear your direction. I'm called father, husband, grandfather, Sifu, and guru. I'm on this journey with you. We are one. My desire is to live this quote, which simply says, the best teachers are those who show you where to look, but don't tell you what to see. Let's begin. Welcome back. If you wonder where I've been, well, I've been away. Away thinking and pondering. And if you've listened to the last episode, you know there's been a lot of shifting going on in my world. Reflectively, these shifts are what remind me that, alas, I am a human being also. Damn it. So yeah, I needed to take some time to ask and answer some of my own questions and get some direction. Notice I didn't say get some answers. I found that when I ask questions, I, one, always will get an answer if I keep my mind's eye on the question. And number two, the answer rarely comes when I think I want it, nor is it what I expect it to be. This is where my practice in patience and acceptance learns to grow. I mean, why ask a question I already know the answer to? That is called a lot of things, actually. It's called fear, denial, procrastination, shutdown. Questions are valid. Answers take time and insight. Just so you know, Some of the answers you're about to hear are about some of the insights I have gained over the years to some of the questions that some of you and others have asked about this body fountain, letting go of your energy, yada, yada, yada. As always, these are my insights, my perspectives. You have permission to have your own. Let's begin, shall we? Question 1. How do I go about removing stress from my shoulders, back, neck, or other parts of my body? Well, you do that by making different choices. First, you acknowledge that stress comes to everyone, period. How you handle that stress is up to you. You always have a choice in how you respond to it. One thing I suggest is to start by changing the words and thoughts you associate with your stress. Stop saying, I carry my stress in my shoulders, for example. If you manifest what you speak into your body, then why would you tell your body to carry your stress in your shoulders? If you must tell everyone where you carry your stress, try putting it someplace detachable, or better yet, disposable. I have people who put their stress in their purses or in a shopping bag, so when it gets too heavy, they can empty it out or just throw it away. And trust me, this concept works. You just have to try it. The biggest challenge is to believe your words have that much power, but they do. Just try it for a few days. Be very intentional. It's very empowering to find out that you have a choice in what you say. Another very important choice is to stop giving your stress an identity. If it's someone else's stuff, then let it keep them. Or should I say, let them keep it. If it's your stress, choose not to carry it. The concept is easy. The practice is the challenge, and it can be done. Next question. Based upon the chart, that's the body fountain that I had on one of the other podcasts. But based upon the chart, I realize I'm holding a lot of unsettled stuff in my body. What can I do with that stuff? Okay, here you have several choices. In most cases, stored emotions or life stressors are things from the past, and they can vary from the smallest of angry interactions to deep wounds of abuse and pain. For the most part, they are from the past. How you deal with these past events now can be as easy as recognizing that they are from the past, and that any power they have over you now is something that you're giving them. As soon as you stop giving your power away, you'll start to feel stronger. I know it sounds unlikely, but it's true. You see, with the past, technically, nothing that happened in the past can happen again. You may repeat mistakes, You may decide to do the same thing or the same person over and over again and get similar results because you're choosing the same thing, but it's not the same thing that you experienced before. Some issues may require more thought or may need to be processed longer. In an earlier podcast, I mentioned the book The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. There's a chapter in the book about a process that's called the Sedona Method. The main purpose of this method is to help you to encounter negative thoughts that repeatedly seem to come from nowhere. Most people try to resist the thoughts, but the Sedona Method actually teaches you to experience them and then release them. There are 5 questions in this process that you ask yourself and work through to release the negative thought. 1. What am I feeling now? Take some time to really think about what the feeling is and where it's coming from. Is it old? Is it even yours? Is it even a true thought? Then ask, can I welcome this feeling and allow it? Know that some feelings may have intentionally been there to protect you, and some of them were just programming to hurt you or diminish you. You must determine what they were and if they have any use now. Say to yourself the thought, I see you, I recognize you, I recognize how you make me feel. Acknowledge it. Then ask, can I let you go? The answer is yes or no. And they're both real answers. So don't be afraid to make the choice. Then ask, am I willing to let it go? You may or may not be willing at this time, but ask yourself why you started this Sedona process in the first place. Figure out if you're better with or without this feeling. And even if you decide you can't let go of it now, ask yourself, when will I let it go? Keep asking until you know you can release it. And keep practicing until it stays gone. If you say, I want to let it go now, then you make the choice and say, I let you go. Peace be with you. If you can't let it go, then keep it and keep working the process. Allow yourself to repeat this process over and over. The key is to be intentional about doing it. Some feelings may have been caused by some very traumatic events. And as in my own case, my mind was hiding what my body had remembered. I literally had no conscious recollection of the trauma that had occurred in my childhood. While in the process of learning this flow technique, my Sifu uncovered the hidden emotion, but not the incident. And it wasn't until 5 years later, while in drug rehab, that the reality of my sexual abuse was uncovered. It took years of work and counseling, long periods of discussion, praying, and meditation to work through that situation. It involves a lifetime of healing and forgiveness. In the end, it all came down to one very potent discovery. As a child, my choices of how to respond to the abuse were limited. So my amazing body chose for me. It chose to bury all the pain deep inside my subconscious mind as a means of self-protection. After it was uncovered, I became responsible for my reactions to it. Next question. It's related. You keep saying, I'm responsible for the things in my life. What exactly do you mean by that? Everything in my life cannot be my fault. I get that. There is a huge difference between being responsible for something or someone and being responsible for how you respond to a certain event or situation. In my work and in my life, I find that many times people get the lines blurred. You must clearly know the difference when reacting to these events and situations. When I speak to people about this concept, I often speak the I of responsibility with its long sound, responsibility, as in I am responsible. At the time of my abuse, I was not responsible for what was happening to me. Now, if this is something that's happened to you, be clear in your mind that you are not responsible for someone else's actions. You did not cause or make someone do this to you. It was not my fault or your fault. Responsibility, what you are responsible for, differs from responsibility, your ability to respond. My ability to respond at the time of the abuse was limited due to my age and size compared to my abuser, and because of my understanding of the world at that age. I was, in my mind, powerless to stop it. Feelings of fault and guilt haunt victims of abuse, all centered around their inability to respond in ways that others would call normal, such as, why didn't you tell your parents? Okay, I was 7 years old. I'm a boy. My abuser was a man who said, I will kill you if you tell anybody. Back then, our culture was not the high alert, stranger danger society that it is today. My family dynamics were not those of the you can tell me anything family. That's enough reason for a 7-year-old boy to keep his mouth shut. Death is a real possibility. So, everybody else, be very careful with your own judgments when you deal with someone in this situation. Unless you've experienced it, your own responsibility, thoughts are not valid. After I became aware of my abuse years later, my responsibility changed. I was able to respond differently. I could choose how I responded now. Now that I'm a grown man, I can now start a healing process. I had to forgive both my abuser and myself. I had to forgive my parents for not understanding why I reacted the way I did when they left me on their nights out. I learned to love and not degrade myself. I learned that I have a choice at all times. I learned that because of my past, I can help others to find a future. And I am not responsible for their future or their choices. Responsibility means taking responsibility for something that I can do. Responsibility means being able to control, to make a choice about how you respond. Next question. Do I have to get the Semaj flow massage to get the benefit of the fountain cleaning? Now, I'll remind you that the most important thing is the new way of thinking, a change in mindset. When you can combine that change of mindset with the Semaj massage, it's ideal. You see, what I do as a massage modality is very, very helpful in moving the physical attachments of the negative energy in your fountain, your body. My flow massage is so effective because of my 40 plus years of working with the mind and the body and knowing how they interact, combined with my experience as a life coach. During the session, I can coach you through a change in mindset as I help you release the physical attachments of stress in your body. So, no, you don't have to get the massage. It's just very, very beneficial. If you're not close enough to geographically come for a massage, remember that a change in belief and mindset is foundational for creating the healthy life you desire. You can still benefit from mental/spiritual cleaning, which is a huge part of the work. And you can do that through telephone or video coaching sessions or very, very deep meditation. Now, if you are in my area or you can travel here, you will find the most benefit in getting a flow massage, where you can receive flow and coaching together. However, clients have experienced incredible progress through coaching sessions. What do I do when so many people have hurt me in life? How do I even begin to deal with that? When there's an abundance of hurt and pain in a person's life, there's only one real and lasting solution: an abundance of forgiveness. It is the foundation for healing in so many of our world cultures and religions. Forgiving the people in your life who have hurt you is not for them, it's for you. Holding the hurt that others have caused leaves you full of pain and makes your entire body ache. And as a side note, the four most cancer-causing emotions in the body are fear, anger, contempt, and non-forgiveness. My number one practice for my clients and a daily practice for myself is called Opono. Opono is an ancient Hawaiian practice of reconciliation and forgiveness. It's focused around a 4-phrase mantra that clears the air between you and those you need to forgive, and those you need to ask forgiveness, because sometimes it's not physically possible to be together. As you release them of their trespasses, you also release yourself from your own. It's based upon 4 spiritual laws of reconciliation. I'm sorry, which is repentance. Please forgive me, which is forgiveness. Thank you, which is gratitude. I love you, which is love. As you meditate on these 4 word phrases, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. Sometimes pictures or memories of people, thoughts of people or situations will literally slam into your consciousness. And you don't have to stop to recognize those. Just continue to repeat the phrases. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I like to visualize the infinite creator responding to my mantra. Even more powerful is saying the mantra in front of a mirror while looking deep into your own eyes. You want to talk about powerful self-forgiveness? Look at yourself telling yourself, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. When's the last time you told yourself you love yourself? Forgiveness of self is the hardest for most people. Start there and feel the weight of your carried stress begin to fall off. Daily Ho'oponopono can be very liberating for your spirit. Next question. Is all of this saying that I have control over what's happening in my body and all I need to do is believe and say things differently and all of a sudden it will all change? Well, the simple answer is a resounding yes. As I said earlier, do some research if you like. I already have for over 40 years. I don't care how you do it. Look on the internet. Look in your scriptures. Listen to some of your health and spiritual leaders. It's already a given fact that what you think about, you bring about in your life and in your body. I'm not saying that everything that happens to you is your fault. I am saying, however, that how you respond is 100% your choice. As you research, find the stories of people who are diagnosed with terminal diseases that with a strong mind shift, their bodies miraculously healed. Some people find joy, others find faith, some change diet and exercise routines, while still others have changed location or associations. A favorite phrase of one of my mentors is, "How's that working for you?" The point is, if what you're doing isn't working, if you're tired of hurting and you just don't feel good, then maybe what you're doing isn't working. You need to do something different. One thing I know is true, no matter what you're doing to try and fix the problem, if you don't believe, now check that, if you don't believe in your mind and your heart that it's going to work, it's definitely not going to work because you don't believe it. According to Jesus, all it takes is faith the size of a mustard seed for us to move mountains. Now, take that into perspective. Which is bigger in your life? Your mountain or your belief system? In retrospect, give yourself a freaking break from choosing to feel bad, unloved, unworthy, left out, different, too skinny, too fat, too ugly, too cute, too anything. Just once, maybe right now, start saying, "Fuck it, I'm good." Today, this second, I choose to be just me on my terms. Then, do it again in 5 minutes. Then work up to once an hour. Then once a day. Until you believe it more than the lies that have been controlling you for a lifetime. It took longer than a day to create whatever state you're in that you want to be changed from. So be patient with yourself and your recovery. It will take some time and strategy to find, fix, and reform what's been broken. But it can be done. And before you go looking for that easy button, I'll tell you now, it don't exist. Change takes intention, lots of positive energy and desire. It's not easy. It is simple, and it's worth it. Wow, right? An abundance of questions, so few answers. Or maybe just the answer you've been waiting for. One true thing remains. You get to choose what's next. This podcast was based on my book, The C Word. And this is the final chapter of the book. Therefore, it's the final chapter, the final episode of the C Word podcast based on the book. Everything after that's going to be new. My desire for the future is to continue the podcast with what matters to you. My hope is that some of you out there figured out that you have a voice, a choice, and your own perspective, and it matters. I want to share other perspectives from this podcast, so please help me out. Ditch the fear and self-judgment, and let's connect. I really want to talk to people this week and want to, anonymously or not, put you on the podcast and talk about whatever comes up, raw and unscripted. If that's you, here's what you do. Send me a direct message to Semaj at a great new you in the description. Tell me your schedule and what you want to talk about, and you could be my next guest. What you'll find is that you matter, and you're not the only one thinking what you're thinking. Now the future looks a lot brighter, huh? As always, this is Semaj Rramal Crawford. I leave you in the love and the light of the infinite Creator. Go forth, therefore, and rejoice and have no fear in the power and the peace of the infinite Creator. Namaste. Well, that wraps it up for today's episode. I appreciate you all for listening to this podcast. It matters to me. If you'd like to go deeper on any topic, I urge you to use the links in the description of this podcast. There, you can find links to my book, The C Word. You can also find these episodes on my YouTube channel under Semaj Rramal, Man at the Top of the Mountain. Also, we would love to connect with you on a Great New You website. That's www.8newyou.com. A Great New You. There, we offer courses to help you become a great new you, and a blog to keep you connected and informed. Finally, if you feel a personal need to get help moving ahead, I've left 2 more links here for connection calls. I'll have 30-minute connections and 1-hour personal coaching connections available via phone or Zoom. All that to let you know that you don't have to seek out the answers or move forward alone. If you're getting value from this show or have feedback, feel free to reach out to me personally at semaj@agreatnewyou.com or leave us a rating here. Thanks for listening. Namaste.